Welcome back to the GIGACON Prime Hearthstone tournament here in Oslo with me, your host Cal Leslie, and Caldy with me once again for our semi-finals now, the top four. It is the money matches here. We've got our semi-finals. The first semi-final is going to be Spo versus Odin, and then we're going to have Blackout versus Powder, and then our third place and grand final for the prize pool of almost $10,000. Caldy, it's getting pretty serious here.
Absolutely. Here with two players that were invited left, Powder and Blackout, and two qualified players, Odin and Spo. Fantastic matchups all around here. We have Spo, a player from SK, who's been doing brilliantly. He just beat the #1 seed GIGACON, and he has Warrior, Druid and Hunter against Odin's Warrior, Druid, Paladin. So Odin actually had Warrior, Druid, Hunter before, but switched the Hunter to Paladin. So a bit of a toss-up here. I think it's going to be very close, but I have to give Spo an edge depending on how he's been playing.
Be interesting because we did see a control warrior from Odin earlier, I think, didn't we? When we saw it, because he beat Forsen in a round of 16, and that's obviously an unfavored matchup for Spo's Patron warrior. We've seen a lot of control warriors today.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, though, the Druid will be stronger against the control warrior, and Spo's warrior will be stronger against the Paladin, I guess, from Odin. But if he can bring it down to just the Patron warrior left, then Odin can definitely take this, I think.
Absolutely. So, if you had to make a prediction, who would you be going for, Caldy?
I think I would go for Spo 3-2. I think what Spo needs to do is get a win with the Warrior, and what Odin needs to do is get a win with the Paladin quick.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they do go with those first. As you said, they do need to get a win with those. The Warrior, particularly for Spo, we did see him nearly struggle in the last series against GIGACON.
Yeah.
He went back. He was 2-0 up. Lost 2 games with the Patron Warrior and had to claw one out at the end to win it 3-2. He'll be hoping it's not as close this time, and he'll, as you say, I think it would be wise for him to go with the Patron Warrior straight away. And of course, our second semi-final, Blackout and Powder, two players who very much will be looking for their first breakout win. Both have a win at the Insomnia I-Series event to their name, but the last 2 winners of that event. But they'll be looking for a bigger win from the two of them.
Yeah, it's no surprise that Powder is here back again in a semi-final. He's had so many semi-finals this year. This is probably his 6th or 7th. Won a lot of money, so may even be the favorite to take this whole thing. But we talk about the matchup coming up with Spo and Odin. I think Odin needs to play the Paladin earlier on, but Spo doesn't necessarily need to play the Patron out first. He just needs to get away with it at any point here.
Yeah, I would favour leaving the Druid to last if I was Spo, just because that is a deck which can be consistent against just about anything if it draws properly. And then, you look at the Hunter that he maybe needs to get a win with. Though I'd say Spo was kind of taking me to task earlier about our criticism of Hunter. He doesn't think it's nearly as weak as you'd think it is, Caldy.
Yeah, I don't think it's weak. I think there's better opportunities in Priest, for example, which hasn't been played this tournament at all. So that's a big factor. Maybe we'll see that as the next games come here at GIGACON. I mean,
it's quite possibly. We've seen a lot of Warrior, a lot of Druid, mostly Warrior and Druid from the lineups. We haven't seen a huge amount of Hunter and Paladin. They've been kind of the next Hunter, Paladin, Warlock. Mm-hmm. What do you make of those classes from what you've seen of them, particularly the Paladin that we saw earlier in the day?
It seems like the Paladin hasn't been doing that well. Hunter has been doing well, but it's still inconsistent, and we've seen a lot of games go to RNG. Mountain Creek won just by an owl, and Spo get the right cards as well. So that's really a draw-dependent class. So I guess the more experienced players would tend to not want to bring those types of classes. I think, it's a bit too many Hunters for my liking, at least right now. I think if someone brought a Priest, for example, that would really punish this playstyle. I think even, Rogue and Shaman we haven't been seeing. That's very expected. Yeah.
And the Demon Handlock hasn't really made an appearance at all either. We've only seen, one Handlock, I think, so far today in our stream matches?
I believe 2, but it's been the standard Handlock and the combo Handlock, I guess, from GIGACON, but he is out, so I believe there's only 1 Handlock left at this point in the tournament.
Yeah, so what do we have left in the classes overall? Yeah, we do have the Warlock from Powder, and Druid, Warrior and Hunter for Blackout. We talked a little bit about his reliance on particularly Warrior and Hunter
Oh yeah.
earlier in the day, and I did say that he'd spoken to me earlier about how strong he thinks Druid is. So no surprises certainly from what Blackout's bringing. Well, interesting to see if Powder has laid any traps for him, perhaps being able to predict his playstyle as a more aggressive player. But Odin really is the unknown in all of this, the semi-finals. Spo, as you said, is from SK Gaming. He did come through the BYOC, but is a bit of a known player. He came here probably expecting to qualify for the top 16, whereas Odin, maybe not a player that people have heard of before, and he's in there with 3 of the bigger names in Europe.
Interesting to see how he does. He didn't look that solid in our round of 16 match against Forsen. He was very lucky to actually win that series. We didn't cast his round of 8 match, but it'll be interesting to see how he does here in the semi-final. I think Spo is definitely the favorite, and when we talk about the Blackout Powder matchup, I think Powder has to be the favorite, that he's just simply done better recently, and he's also not bringing Hunter, I guess. That may just be my preference.
Yeah. Talking about the pressure as well of getting to this point, that does weigh on the mind. Another factor that you have to consider is slight change in environment for these players. In the previous games, they've been playing over in the players' area with their own music. They've not had any kind of restrictions there, but because we're now broadcasting on the stage, hello to all the audience watching over there, and they're now playing with white noise and noise cancelling with no music whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So, just talk about your players playing on a big stage a lot, StarCraft and Hearthstone as well. How much does that environment of being, taking it a bit more seriously with the white noise and being, restricted away from people a little bit, does that make a difference?
I think if it's your first time around doing that, it may make a big difference, maybe first, second and third time around, but when you're at the 20th time, then it really doesn't matter where you play.
Yeah, and that's got to get him an advantage to people like Blackout and Powder.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
Particularly Powder, he's played on some of the biggest stages, like the Asus ROG tournament and things like that, and done very well.
Yeah.
But he'll really be looking for a win. As you said, he's had a very successful year, but it's been kind of up and down for Powder. Obviously, the issues with his team Trig, now on Mana Light. In fact, it's been on, I think, 3 different teams this year, if you include the iHearthU as well, that he was on before he was on Trig. Mm-hmm. So I guess he's looking for a bit of consistency to end the year and end the year with a win.
I think so, yeah, but he's had so many wins, I guess. A good signing will maybe be a better present for him. But I mean, we don't know much about Mana Light. It's been a new team that's just come up now. Maybe it'll prove itself to be consistent, I guess. Yeah,
and Blackout, I mean, he's all concerned with those Dignitas Gosu Gamers points. He's very concerned about that.
Oh,
obviously, their teammate Kranich making it to BlizzCon earlier today.
Second time in a row.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. The only player to achieve that feat. And despite Green Sheep losing in the qualifiers, if Blackout wins today, that's a pretty good weekend for Dignitas.
Absolutely, yeah. Unfortunately, Green Sheep went out, but Blackout did get invited and is doing fantastic. Has been doing really well here in the playoffs. But hopefully, going to the game soon.
Yeah. So we can stop nattering about everything and everything we can think of here about all the players that we've got left. Mm-hmm. But it's good. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a great top 4. I think we've got a really interesting group of players. We're guaranteed to have one player who we've kind of seen before and know a little bit more about, and maybe one player who's looking to break out. Oslo obviously has been around for a little while as a known name, but hasn't really done anything on any kind of stage so far. And this could really be a breakout opportunity for him. We talked earlier about how SK Gaming have invested a lot in the Swedish quartet, if you like, of Freaky, Martin Creek, Airbrushed and Spo, but it hasn't really been rewarded in results yet. And if they were even just getting top 4 here is great for them, but if they were able to get a win, it would really, kind of vindicate their approach.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I guess, early in the beta, Spo did win a lot of tournaments. He won many Mana Grand Opens. He won at least one Showtag that I know of. So definitely without results, but with maybe recent and offline results, maybe his next step here in his career.
Yeah, offline tournaments very important to make a well-rounded top player, is the ability to perform both online and offline. We see some players who are strong online players, but then when it comes to offline tournaments, aren't able to carry that through. But then you're looking at some of the stronger players who can take it across everything. But we are now into the game here, and I don't think we have a hunter for Odin, so we know that it's still flip round, unfortunately, but Spo is on the bottom here with the mulligan and the control warrior of Odin on the top. Spo opting to keep the animal companion here against control warrior.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, the firework does counter all of his 2-drops, so maybe a factor. I don't mind this. I think it would be better if he actually had a 1-drop to go with this. I mean, there's a lot of dead cards, I guess, against warrior. So in terms of the owl, the unleash the kill command right now. So he just wants consistency over everything. But this is a fantastic hand against warrior. Couldn't be much better.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Odin, for Spo, sorry, who's on the bottom. It's actually Odin who's on the top here. So yeah, it does get a brawl in hand for Odin, which is going to be pretty useful for him to take out those first waves of attack. But Odin does have 1-drops, he's the 2 and the 3 as well, so going to be able to curve pretty well. Doesn't the Abusive Sergeant, it's obviously not one of the most high-value 1-drops, but it's good to get a 1-drop on turn 1, even if it does have to be an Abusive Sergeant.
You need some pressure, absolutely, here, and Spo makes the right call there. It's better than nothing. Now, I want to see him just go for the Haunted Creeper. Generally, Haunted Creeper is weak against the Warrior because it doesn't interact that well with Armor Smith or Acolyte of Pain, but since he has the bow to follow up, he can clear any Acolyte that comes out, still save that coin for a turn 5 Savannah.
We talked earlier about the Gore Howl in Odin's Control Warrior, and we can see now he is running that Justicar that you suggested would be a good combination with the Gore Howl. It's a brand new card in TGT, one of the few cards to kind of really make an impact in the control meta. What's your opinion on Justicar? What do you think makes it such a strong card?
I think just the amount of armor you get. If you can get, let's say, 20 armor during a game, which is not unheard of. If you're playing, I guess, a burst deck, you just run into a lot of trouble. Maybe you have 2 turns to finish him off, because if you have a turn with hero power for 4 plus shield block, you just run into a lot of trouble there. But now we see the bow coming down, and I like Spo's position. If he can continue to draw strong minions, he'll just really be dominating here. Now, we have Odin with only a Shield Slam. This is kind of telling, I guess, that he does go for this Shield Slam on the Haunted Creeper. Basically tells Spo that he has the Brawl and is looking at brawling next turn.
Yeah, it's setting up for a board clear here, and wonder what Spo's going to do to play around that. Does go for the Shredder, which is pretty good for resisting the Brawl. Means he's going to have another minion popping out of it, so he's going to be able to keep some sort of board, and that's really what's key for Spo here, is to maintain a board and be able to get consistent damage and as this kind of hybrid mid-range hunter.
The thing about the Justicar and the Bash, I guess, you were close to having enough. You're close to having enough armor to really float in the late game, but when you have the Bash and the Justicar on top of that, it just becomes way too much armor, and a Gore Howl can actually start to get 4 or 5 minions. If you can kill 4 or 5 minions with a Gore Howl, you just win the game in the late game. As you can't really be killed with the Justicar and the armor up all the time. It just comes down to a Druid combo or an overwhelming board position, and you have double Brawl on top of that. But I like Sylvanas better than Brawl here, actually.
Yeah, I don't like that second Brawl at all, because you could end up in a really difficult board position. Say the Haunted Creeper and the Shredder had died and the Wrathguard had survived. That's a really difficult board position with your second Brawl out of the way already.
Absolutely, yeah. Also, he could have possibly Gore Howled the Wrathguard, and that actually does 7 to face.
Yeah, exactly. That's that Leok and that Misha combination. No huff for an aggressive hunter. Yeah, Odin's just going to go ahead. You can see nothing he can do there.
Think about that last position. If he had Sylvanas on board and could Brawl instead, he'd be back into this game. Maybe he would have taken 3-4 extra damage and been at 7 instead of 11, but with a full clear with the Sylvanas, everything was possible.
Yeah, pretty questionable position for Odin there, but yeah, it's interesting that he's looking to go for the Paladin here, the Secret Paladin, which is a deck we only saw in our first matchup. He and Force had both played versions of the Secret Paladin. It's a deck which a lot of people thought was very strong early on, but some people seem to be pulling back on a little bit.
Yeah, it's not as consistent as for example, Patron or Druid, so you can't just have those really off games which cost you tournaments, and especially if you're running Druid on top of that, because you have to draw Mysterious Challenge and Divine Favor in the Paladin. You also have to rely on drawing Wild Growth and Innovate in the Druid, and you have all of those things you need to draw. Odds are that one round out of 5 or something, you just don't draw what you need and you lose automatically, so not a good scenario there.
Yeah, and we see that it's Spo on the Patron Warrior versus the Secret Paladin of Odin. We'll get those flipped around for you in just a sec. But we see the Mysterious Challenger in hand for Odin, which is a pretty good start. A lot of people do favour, we talked about this earlier, keeping the Mysterious Challenger in the opening hand. And it can be pretty crucial, particularly in matchups like this, that you can get that out on turn 6. And really, because that's the sort of turn where a deck like Warrior or a more control-heavy deck can really start to stabilize, and you can mess up that stabilization.
Absolutely here. Haunted Creeper, I guess, plays around Fireworks, so that's the idea of going Haunted Creeper instead of the Knife Juggler here. Spo is 1-0 up with the Warrior here, playing the Patron. But I guess on the flip side, if you go for the Juggler, you can counter the Acolyte, and if there's no Fireworks, and that's the scenario we see here. Still, I think it's a correct call by Odin to go for this. But yeah, I mean, I think to notice, the more cards Spo draws, the better the Divine Favor is going to be eventually for Odin.
Yeah, this is a really good deck for Divine Favor to play against. Obviously, Patron looking up to build up as big a hand as possible to get through to those combo pieces. Divine Favor is going to be enabled very well indeed.
Thing to note though is this Haunted Creeper with the Divine Shield. You actually get 4 Patrons out of that if you have a chance.
Yeah, that's true. So it's good to get that out, get rid of that as quickly as possible, I guess.
Absolutely here. So many secrets drawn though. This is not looking too good. He can clear, but it will cost him the Haunted Creeper and the chance on the Coghammer. You have to keep rolling though. I think it's going to be the correct play.
We could possibly see the just the Coghammer run in here and then trying to force a trade out of Spo, I guess. But yeah, I think you're right. He probably does have to trade it. Just give up those Creeper tokens.
Yeah, that would be really bad, I think, if he left it alive.
Yeah.
Because you could throw it on a Grim Patron or an Acolyte or an Armorsmith.
Yeah, we see a Patron and Inner Rage as well, so that would have been disastrous if he'd gone for that.
Yeah. I like this better here.
What do you think of the secrets over the hero power?
I think it's good because you have the Divine Favor. You know, you want to get rid of the cards in your hand as soon as possible. Gonna be looking at a Mysterious Challenger next turn, almost no matter what. And after that, I mean, you kind of need the 3-drop to go with the Divine Favor, and Spo has to figure at some point he needs to start dumping his hand.
He does have Inner Rage and Execute available if he wants to kill that Mysterious Challenger. But it does come down. There's the Tyrion as well.
Big swing turn with the Tyrion. I think because he's running Tyrion, he is actually favored instead of being in favor. And a big thing is now there's going to be a Repentance on board. One of those 5 secrets. It's got to be Repentance, Redemption, Avenge,
Noble Sacrifice.
Noble Sacrifice, and Commanding Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to see 5 secrets. It's not too often you get to see the full hat. But it's nice for us here at GIGACON to get the full Paladin Christmas tree.
Absolutely. If he had 1 more mana, he could make everything possible here. He's gotta drop it because he's so afraid of that Redemption hitting his Patron. That basically would have been game here.
Yeah, so the goal's going to come down, get reduced to 1 health. Yeah, as you say, the Patron getting reduced to 1 health would have been absolutely disastrous, and there's no doubt Odin was certainly hoping for that.
Yeah, he's actually going all out just to remove this minion, and this won't work out for him.
No, this is going to be disappointing for Spo once he gets the Divine Favor and the Tyrion down. He is successfully dumping quite a lot of his hand though. We did talk about that a couple of minutes ago, that was something he needed to do to try and reduce the value of the Divine Favor.
I guess so, but he also is dumping his win condition in terms of the Patron combo now. Not much that Odin can do. This Divine Favor is horrible for him. He may need to go double Divine Favor, but he only draws 2 cards like that.
Oh, that's not a good card either.
This is horrible.
Yeah, Spo did really well there in denying the Divine Favor. As you say, he did give away a lot of his combo, but he did reduce the potential for the Paladin to really swing back into this. That Tyrion is still just a couple of turns away.
And that Warsong is massive here. I think to note about the Consecrate, it's good in the mirror, but it just falls short against so many other matchups. For example, against the Warrior, it's just useless. Against Handlock, it's really bad. Druid, it doesn't do well against Druid, so having 2 Consecrates means you'll be good in the mirror, but for a lot of other matchups, you're just going to be in trouble. And the situation Odin is finding himself in here.
Is 2 consecrate still the standard, or
No,
people cutting
one is standard, yeah.
Yeah. We talked about the cutting the True Silvers as well. True Silver consecrate, the kind of key cards of Paladin for so long, are now being slightly unfavoured. We might actually see just a consecrate here to clear this Frothing Berserker. That's pretty inefficient.
Really is here, yeah. We could get the muster going, but if there's a patron, then that would just be close to game over at that point.
Not going to use the consecrate. I guess he's hoping he's going to be able to use them to deal with some patrons later on, but it's not the most effective route.
Go
for It's not a particularly useful card in the matchup. I think that definitely would have been the play. The Whirlwind. This is really a really tough spot for Spo because he's already thrown away 1 Whirlwind and 1 Inner Rage. He doesn't have many combo pieces left, but actually Whirlwind in this board is pretty tempting. So he is just going to go for the patron without the War Song. And he's done pretty much all of his hand now apart from the War Song Commander.
I mean, yeah, couldn't he just gone for the War Song?
He does get the Battle Rage.
It's the Battle Rage on top of it, so I guess this is okay. He gets more patrons if he just goes for the War Song instead.
Here comes Tyrion. Odin putting his faith in the light, so we'll see if it helps him out here. No execute in the hand for Spo.
He is able to clear though, I guess. It's not gonna be pretty though. I think Shield Block, yeah. If he gets a Whirlwind, then that's just gonna be enough.
I think he's
already, but
used both Whirlwinds, yeah.
No, I mean a Whirlwind effect in terms of possibly even a
Sure.
tool. Yeah. Battle Rage is still not that good. You may just need to wait this one out and go for the no miss or yeah.
It's a difficult position for Spo to know what to do. He's going to go for the War Song Commander, I guess, with the Armor Smith, perhaps.
Well played to go.
Oh, there's a Noble Sacrifice up, of course.
I guess. Is he going to Battle Rage? He has to.
He can Battle Rage for 2.
But he has both of the Inner Rages already been played and both of the Whirlwinds as well. If he was going to go for this, you go for the Armor Smith first.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't go for the Armor Smith first. Playing this play in and starting a couple of armor.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Second challenger is available to him now. But the Divine Favor and Consecrate both absolutely dead in your hand.
Oh, wow. You killed the 3/3 patron, absolutely. This is, my opinion, a misplay here from Odin. Why would you not kill the patron? Get that over with. Second patron gone and...
Oh, there's another patron coming in. As for the secret, I'm not sure what secret is left.
Leave it in the event, I guess.
Oh, there's the second War Song Commander.
In the second combo, you're supposed to way ahead. I think Odin kind of messed up in this game.
Yeah, drawing that War Song Commander means that not killing the 3/3 was a big mistake. But actually, Spo has a lethal next turn, so Odin has to pull something out here against 42 health of the warrior. I don't think playing a shielded minibot is a sign that he has a route to victory.
Probably not. No.
He is going to kill the 3/3 patron here finally. And just play both of these consecrates.
Not pretty at all, and then the 5 damage to base is almost irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, but just 1 charge patron and the Death Spite are going to be enough for Spo to jump out to a 2-0 lead here.
Or is he running a second redemption now?
Well, he plays the War Song first, so it doesn't really matter if he is running redemption. Second repentance, rather. But yep, that's going to be enough. So Spo goes up to a 2-0 lead with just his Druid left. I did say earlier I favoured leaving the Druid till last. Gives you 3 chances to just draw like a Druid, get your Wild Growths and Innervates, and do just Druid things.
Absolutely here. I guess this is looking so good for Spo now. 2-0 up. We've seen him before be 2-0 up with Warrior left, but having a Druid left, it's almost impossible that he won't just draw a good hand 1 out of the 3 games that he has left here. We see him face against the Paladin. That's probably the toughest matchup for the Druid. Not the best hand also for Spo. He probably has to throw this all away.
He's thinking about keeping the Chillwind, yes. He does really favour that card. It's very old school Druid tech.
I think there's no way he'll keep either.
He seems to be set on keeping the Keeper. Yeah, didn't think about that at all.
If you have a Wild Growth, maybe without it you just kind of need the Wild Growth.
Oh.
I mean, you can silence a Mysterious Challenger on turn 6, but or possibly something that's been Kinged already. But if you use Kings, you're generally trading into something big at the same time, either do the Claw or a Shredder even. So it's not a huge turn. He does get the Wild Growth, so he isn't going to get punished by this. A strong hand from Odin though, starting with events on turn 1.
Yeah, starting with the secret on turn 1, you don't generally want to draw the secrets